When it comes to education, there are so many things that need to be addressed in the classroom. Of course, the basics, the reading, the writing, the math, but there are other things, and junior achievement has excelled over the years at addressing these issues, bringing them to the children, teaching, and building self-esteem, building skills that are used in their lives years and years down the road as they move ahead. And we're going to talk today in studio about a very special project that happened just recently with Junior Achievement. Holly and Mark joining me in studio. Welcome to Real Life.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, let's talk about it. Diversity in Action. Tell me about the program.
So the Diversity in Action program focuses on students exploring the value of diversity, looking at what it might feel like to be excluded based on age, gender, ethnicity, if they had a disability. And really the program gets students to start looking at the importance of inclusivity. And especially at an age at the grade 6 and 7 level where bullying tends to be a little prevalent, it really gets students to open up their mind to challenge some of the assumptions they have and really to become more empathetic with others within the classroom.
Right. Now, it kind of, in some ways, I guess I'd like to think that we've gotten further than this, but Mark, do you still find there's a great presence of I don't know if the word is fear or just the unknown?
Well, you know what, I think, students are like anyone else, they need to feel included, they need to feel accepted and so on. And because we live in a hugely diverse community or communities across the city, oftentimes you get these challenges. You get children who discover that there are people like them and there are others that are not like them, students who make them feel different or remind them about their differences. And our job as part of the Diversity in Action Day is to help students understand that, their differences are differences that can be celebrated, and that their differences are differences that others need to get to know, get to understand, and as they have a better understanding of those differences, that we can be more, we can work more together as a community.
Mm-hmm. Now, this program, what grades did you take on with this?
So this particular program focuses on the grade 6 and 7 level. On the Diversity in Action Day event we had on February 18th, we managed to reach almost 6,000 students in one day. But we do have a suite of other programs ranging from grades 5 to 12. Some of the other programs focus on financial literacy, work readiness skills, entrepreneurship, and really getting students prepared for their future after school.
Interesting but I keep coming back to the diversity because I think this is something that, interesting that you targeted grade 6 and 7 because it's really at a level, at an age where they're reaching that maturity, reaching puberty, just about to go to high school, about to enter maybe a couple of years away from entering the beginning of the workforce.
Correct.
What were some of the challenges, though, that you found when you got into the classroom? What are the misconceptions that students have? Is it are they I guess we have a lot of multicultural people coming into the cities. Is it a language thing that kids have difficulty with sometimes? Is it, I know age can be something.
Yes. My observation in the few classes that I attended on Diversity Day, there was a lot of focus around ageism and the fact that students, some felt that certain jobs were beyond them because they were either too young or too old and so on. And we were able to have some fairly robust discussions around the fact that you're never too old to do certain jobs. You're never too young to do certain jobs. Whether that job is babysitting or, in the case of new Canadians coming to the country and, a parent having to go out and do a job that they either feel they're too old for or not qualified to do it, and being able to do those jobs and having the opportunity to do those jobs, we were able to have some really good discussions around those things. And I think students really got a good sense of what Canada is all about in that context, and that, back to the point, that diversity is something that should be celebrated, can be celebrated, and something that makes our society that much richer.
Because I would think it's an important message to get through to sometimes people coming from other cultures are bringing knowledge, information, ways of looking at things that perhaps we haven't even begun to explore here if you've been born and raised in Canada.
Absolutely. And I think from the classes that I've seen around that is what the program does is it encourages students to share some of the traditions they might have within their household, and you can see the reaction from other students. They get they're curious and they're excited about it, and they're excited that there's that acceptance about those differences and that we're beginning to value them.
That's right. Now it's exciting to think about junior achievement coming into our schools, into the classrooms, and like you said, when you do come in with a program such as this or some of the others that you do, how do you come into the classroom and what do you do for the day?
Well, you know what, depending on the program that we offer, a program might involve a volunteer, or 5,000 as is the case.
And who are the volunteers?
And our volunteers are often corporate volunteers for the most part, with our corporate partners. And we deliver in the order of 2,700 programs across the Greater Toronto area every year, reaching about 80,000 students. And some of our largest volunteers, or corporate partners, provide as many as 500 volunteers to deliver one-day programs. Wow. And our two most popular programs are Dollars with Cents.
That's kind of neat.
Right, and this is one that teaches the fundamentals of money. And then there's another program, Economics for Staying in School, another one of our very popular programs, Economics for Success.
What's touched on in that one?
Holly?
So Economics for Success, it gets students to start looking at budgeting, interviewing skills. So students this is at grade 8, they're on the cusp of going after their first part-time job, and the students the program gets them to explore doing some mock interviews, writing a resume, filling out a job application form, so really preparing them for their first job, living on their own for the first time, and understanding the importance of finishing high school and how that will impact their future.
These are great programs. Now, for those who perhaps have kids in the school system, as I do,
yes.
how do we go about learning more about junior achievement, how we perhaps can get involved, or how we can get you guys into our schools?
Great question. So you can actually visit our website at www.jacentralontario.org and follow the links. There are opportunities to register your school online or to request our program, or even for volunteers to register online to say they want to be part of the delivery of these really impactful programs. Believe me, kids are never too young to learn about financial literacy and money sense. We see that there's a lot in the news. Our federal minister of finance has just launched a national task force to deal with this very issue, and it's being replicated at the provincial level. And we can only do this if we have volunteers signing up, and if we have corporate partners willing to support us, and secondly, schools who recognize the need for these programs.
I think it's really great, and there's so much wisdom out there that people in different avenues of business have, and how great to be able to share it with the young people.
Correct.
And it's got to be very satisfying for those who actually do the volunteering.
Yes.
Absolutely, and that really is the key to the success of our programs, is the volunteers going into the classroom for one day. We do train them, we provide them with the material to facilitate the program, and it's really them adding their own personal experiences to bring the content to life. The students know they're there not because they're getting a paycheck, but because they want to be there, and so there's a lot of reception from the students to hear from those volunteers about their experiences.
Well, that's exciting. It's been great having you come and join us today.
A pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Check out the website, learn more about junior achievement, and we have more on Real Life coming up in just a moment.